and welcome friends to another session of MindSpeak. This is our 49th session. We made our humble efforts to get good speakers uh, to try to bring in interesting subjects of discussions as far as we could. And I hope we have made some success in some way in helping the gems and jewelry industry get in some ideas, some knowledge, and have their idle time being spent in a constructive manner. Fashion forecasting is a global career that focuses on upcoming trends. A fashion forecaster predicts the colors, the fabrics, the textures, the materials, the prints, the graphics, the beauty, the grooming, the accessories, the footwear, the styling that will be presented on the runway in the stores for the upcoming seasons. Our industry has somehow not even tried to go along with and remain a little far from the trend forecasts. Yes, we do sell our jewelry as investments, but I can assure you the potentials and results on associating with trend forecasts and the new ways in which jewelry can be sold can achieve great results. And today's panel, particularly, has a wonderful set of speakers who can really throw a lot of light on this. Uh, I start in my introduction with Neha Lulla. Her journey started 20 years ago. She has a strong passion for jewelry and inclination toward understanding the way jewelry is made. She got her formal training in jewelry design and advanced manufacturing and diamond assortment from renowned institutes in Mumbai. Though she was not from the jewelry background, she gave and she got a great opportunity to work with many jewelry houses, and she got great experience from a lot of good people. After 9 years, she started her own brand under the name of Neha Lulla Jewelry in 2009. Neha Lulla Jewelry is adorned by some notable and distinguished celebrities like Priyanka Chopra, Tapsi Pannu, Kajol, Kirti Sanon, Moni Roy. Her exclusive clientele also includes the affluent and the glitterati. She is a recipient of many awards and has been a part of many juries. Our next panelist, Mr. Harshad Ajumal, has a business running in the name of H. Ajumal Fine Jewelry, which started as a niche brand by Harshad Ajumal himself with a singular philosophy that lays emphasis on avant-garde design, exquisite gemstones, and hand craftsmanship. With 20 years of experience in designing and manufacturing high-end jewelry, his pieces are crafted using an amalgamation of fine quality workmanship with modern manufacturing techniques. Harshad adapts to global trends in his designs and creates non-conventional, versatile collections. We also have with us Manisha Modi. Manisha is the co-founder of the boutique and private label Manisha and Saurabh Modi. They are the third generation diamantaires who create heirlooms as a reflection of their passion for design. They cater to a discreet private clientele, collectors, auction houses, and jewelry galleries. Manisha did her design and jewelry manufacturing from the prestigious SNDT College. She believes in the philosophy, everything in design. Her journey has been an exciting and creative one. Our uh, moderator for today is Hetal Vakil Walia, who has been involved in the jewelry industry for the past 30 years. She has been teaching jewelry design, retail sales, diamond grading, and gemology. In addition to this, she has been manufacturing one of a kind of jewelry pieces and consulting for jewelry companies, as well as educational institutions and government organizations. She specializes in conducting online courses for sales associates in counter sketching, designing, and after understanding the needs of the modern consumer. This has helped many manufacturers, wholesalers, and retailers. Uh, Friends, today's subject of discussion is jewelry trends, post vivid, and jewelry inspirations. It's going to start with Hetal doing her presentation initially, followed by the panel who will give their own inputs on the jewelry inspirations. We have a 90-minute slot available with us where 75 minutes we should try and do the discussions and try to give 15 minutes at the end for question answers. Over to you, Hetal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Many thanks to Ashok Bhai, Nitin Bhai, Hemant Bhai, and the entire team of MindSpeak for giving me the second opportunity on MindSpeak. आपका तहे दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Change is the only constant in our world. We are subject to changes through digitization, globalization, changing consumer demographics, and currently through pandemics like COVID. But just as change brings risk, it also brings possibilities and opportunities for creativity and innovation. हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में हमें काफी बदलाव और परिवर्तन नजर आता है. टेक्नोलॉजी, इंटरनेट, कस्टमर की बदलती हुई सोच, पसंद और हाल में कोविड की सर्वव्यापी महामारी. लेकिन इस बदलते माहौल में भी हम रचनात्मक कार्य द्वारा सफलता प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. ऐसे मौके हमें मिल सकते हैं. In today's webinar, we are basically, it'll give us an insight into the trends, the elements driving these trends, and their management, so that we can ensure, growth and success in our business. What is a trend? Now, if you're talking in simple layman's language, it means something which is popular in a certain point of time. ट्रेंड यानी कस्टमर को उस दौर में क्या पसंद आता है और वो किस तरह की ज्वेलरी खरीदता है. It's very imperative to know future trend forecasts. This helps us to understand the preferences and the needs of the customer and thereby design jewelry accordingly. Now here I am going to reiterate what I spoke about in my earlier webinar, that we must always understand the changing consumer demographics. It is, we cannot discount the consumer profile and preferences at any point of time. ग्राहक की पसंद नापसंद, उनके रहन सहन, उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति को ध्यान में रखकर डिजाइन बनानी है और ट्रेंड्स हमें इस दिशा में मार्गदर्शन देते हैं. I am going to start a PPT presentation that I'd like to share with you. Okay, there are three basic fundamental elements that drive all trends. Basic human aspirations, हमारी आकांक्षाएं, such as status, creativity, self-improvement, all these are never going to change. They are timeless and they're universally relevant. Long-term shifts, वातावरण के बड़े बदलाव, like macro changes like urban transition, aging population, climate change, or they could be short-term triggers, छोटे बदलाव, like specific technologies, political events, economic shocks, environmental incidents, like our current COVID situation. And last but not the least, innovation, नई खोज, like startups, new products, services, experiences, campaigns. These lead to new levels of consumer expectation. These three fundamental elements will help you to understand the trends and meet with the emerging expectations. इन तीन तत्वों को अगर हम समझे तो ये हमें ट्रेंड्स के बारे में समझ देंगे और इनके द्वारा हम कस्टमर को एक अद्भुत अनुभव कामयाबी से दे सकेंगे. What is jewelry trend forecast? Now, it is an assumed development in the future, which will have a long-term and a lasting effect on the consumer spending patterns. भविष्य में किन आभूषणों की बिक्री होने की संभावना है, इस बात का ज्ञान हमें ट्रेंड द्वारा मिलता है. What is the management of trends? First is identification of trends. Which will be the jewelry trends in the future and how will they be relevant? कौन से गहने बिकेंगे? 2. The analysis of the effects. In which directions will these trends develop and what will be the impact? इसका क्या असर होगा? And lastly, the analysis of the implications. What do these trends mean for our company? हमारी कंपनी पर क्या असर पड़ेगा? Now, trends are basically forecast they're based on extensive research and collection of information. These help us to build strategies to produce designs which will be relevant and saleable in the future. So, trends पूर्ण शोध और सूचना पर आधारित है और जो हमें भविष्य के व्यापार की स्थिति के बारे में अवगत कराते हैं. Now, we shall see some trends for the fall-winter 2020-2021, and we will also discuss how COVID will impact these particular predictions. There are 5 main trends that have been identified. The first one being Pearl Girls. Pearls have evolved into one of the most popular trends in 2020. All types of pearls, from South Seas to Keshis to cultured pearls, are being used and they're very popular. विभिन्न प्रकार के मोती का प्रयोग हो रहा है और होगा. They are used in all classifications of jewelry. It could be earrings, it could be ear cuffs, it could be layer necklaces, or it could even be headpieces. तो मोतियों का प्रयोग हर प्रकार के आभूषण में होगा, चाहे वो earring हो या लंबा हार. Pearls add a touch of femininity and timelessness to your outfits. They come in different shapes, sizes, colors, and overtones. अलग-अलग आकार और रंग में मोतियों का उपयोग हो रहा है. Irregular shaped pearls, जैसे आप देखोगे यहाँ निराकार pearls है. These kind of pearls give one-of-a-kind pieces that are very difficult or rather impossible to replicate. Pearls have a very subtle, a very discreet, timeless, and elegant beauty, and they can be incorporated in jewelry in myriad ways. The next trend is chain gang. Chains are seen in elongated shapes, rectangular and oval links. You will find them in handmade as well as cast jewelry. Earrings are linked together to form linear styles. As you can see on the left hand side, they're forming a linear style with movement, or they could be stiff, they could be frozen into hoop earrings, as we can see on the lower left. Bracelets. Bracelets are textural. There are a lot of different textures being used, and they borrow inspiration from infinity knots or even architectural details. Necklaces, which can range from short to long, feminine and delicate to bold and chunky statement pieces. White diamond pave accents infuse these looks with a very elegant vibe. And here you see black diamonds and black rhodium plated finishes, which imbue them with a very chic rock and roll kind of 80s look. Again, oversized pieces like this, they can add instant glamour to any regular outfit. The third trend is called charm school. symbols of luck, love, spirituality, these are stronger than ever. And in these current COVID times, these kind of things will be at peak popularity. अच्छे भाग्य, प्रेम भावना, आध्यात्मिकता, इसको दर्शाने वाले जो आभूषण हैं, वो आगे वाले टाइम में बहुत पसंद किए जाएंगे. If you see in this one on the left hand side, there is it's called a neck mess. It's a very tangled or a haphazard kind of a look, but you could also have layered necklaces with, charms dangling, or you could have single necklaces dangling with multiple motifs and medallions. As you can see here, this is a bit more of a retro look. So you can keep adding new pieces to your favorites, and you can start building up a collection which will be, telling them your individual story. The third trend is circular motion. We are going to be dealing with hoops. Hoops are here to stay. हमारी जो बाली होती है, जो all the way कान पे जाती है, those are called hoops. So designers continue to play with different details and effects on these hoops to create different and multiple variations. लेकिन hoops को थोड़ा अलग तरीके से उसका इस्तेमाल किया है. In 2020, we see them multiply in size. These hoops are all about standing out. It's not about blending in. And if you notice them, they are bold. They make a statement. Updated versions, updated takes on the hoop designs, like the super-sized double hoops on the left-hand side, or the door knocker earrings on the right-hand side. Now, these statement makers are basically updated silhouettes on the classic circular hoop that all of us probably own. The next trend is creature feature. Now, designers have been neglecting spiders. They've played with ladybugs, they've played with bees, they've played with beetles, but now they're bringing these creatures, these spiders, into style. As you can see here, how the spider has been incorporated into a pendant with black diamonds in black rhodium plating. These creepy crawlers are in precious metals. They are interpreted in delicate pendants, as you can see, or in bold rings, as you can see on your right, and even encrusted brooches. And of course, every woman would be happy to have them crawling on their neck or on, spinning a web around their hands. This way, we don't mind spiders at all. Starry night. Now, this is another new trend. Stars are used as inspiration in this trend. Earrings, brooches, and pendants studded with diamonds in black plated metal. That gives an impression of twinkling stars in a darkened sky. The next trend is button up. These kind of earrings have always been there, but they've got a makeover. They are back in style. We've removed that old and fussy looking button earring, and now it's been replaced with sophisticated, elegant, and playful designs. Diamond divas. Diamonds are not just for celebrities and for the red carpet. They're meant for all women. If you want to up the dramatic and glamorous quotient, all you need to go is to go to diamonds. Chandelier earrings, and also, like you can see on your right side, you have collars which are dripping all around with diamond drops. Things with movement are very in, and also with that, we see a lot of layered necklaces like this bib. Modern interpretation of classic designs is going to be a trend to watch out for. Now, we've discussed the various trends which were predicted for 2020, 2021, which will give us some guidance on how to design our collections for the coming year. But one must not discount the impact that COVID will have on the psyche and the spending patterns of the customer. Various factors are going to affect the jewelry purchase post-COVID. There's going to be fear, loneliness, depression. There are going to be health issues. There are going to be budget constraints. There's going to be a need for personalization and relevance. So how does that translate into jewelry? Designs with healing crystals, as you can see on your left, designs with healing crystals for mental and emotional well-being. These are going to gain popularity. For example, the amethyst is a gorgeous stone to look at, beautiful color, purple color, but it's also said to have a lot of properties of, power, protection, and healing properties. So that's why it will become popular and people will go for stones like amethyst. Designs depicting symbols of faith or religion. As you can see, there's Ganpati Bappa, there is the symbol of Shri, there is a Shivling, there is depiction of Krishna, of Tirupati Balaji. All these are basically religious symbols which are bought so that one can gain some hope and strength in these turbulent times. Fun and joyful designs which are going to uplift the mood of the modern Indian woman or the woman everywhere in the world. This is like a universal phenomena. Now, this is interesting. These cufflink pieces, these are basically wearable tech for safety. They're designed to make tasks easier. With a press of a button, you can alert a specific group of contacts in case of an emergency. So in these times, which are very uncertain, something like this might be appealing. High fashion designer Tony Birch, he teamed up with wearable tech brand Fitbit. Now, what have they done? They've created a line of chic wearable fitness bracelets and necklaces or pendants, which feel less like fitness trackers and they seem more like conventional pieces of jewelry. This secret message jewelry, they look like just bars of gold. It's just that when you turn them around, you can find special messages. You can see special symbols. So otherwise, they're hidden from plain sight. So something which is very personal to you, you don't want to show everybody, but at the same time carries a special message. Personalized bracelets which have a metal plate, and these would feature a monogram of one's choice. So again, a very personalized item. Personalized affordable jewelry. The operative word being affordable. Affordable and personalized jewelry will be the order of the day because of the change in the spending patterns post-COVID. Because of unprecedented levels of unemployment, people are going to have budget constraints. So they're going to go for jewelry which is affordable. Also, people working from home, that is also going to be more common. So people want smaller, affordable pieces which they can team up with their work outfits. This is very interesting. There's a designer, Lulu Frost, who came up with this 100-year necklace. What is very interesting is that this incorporates items which date back to the period of 1890 to 1960. It could have pins, shoe buckles, belt buckles, little trinkets, which are all put together in a very interesting manner. And obviously, it carries so much history. So something like this would be appealing to all generations. Retro and gothic feel, the witch and Wicca inspired jewelry, vintage pieces, giving a retro feel. So people want to go back to that. They want a feel good factor. Youngsters or the current generation very easily influenced by pop stars and other icons. So this pendant it draws inspiration from Miley Cyrus's music video, The Wrecking Ball. And they've shown, the artist has placed a golden version of the pop star on a pearl base. So maybe something which appeals to the modern generation. The Time Turner necklace by Harry Potter. This holds, again, appeal for the current generation, which is our potential target group. These designs, very interesting. They take the shape of everyday accessories like pens, pins, paper clips, and then they've come up with really nice and funky jewelry. This is again something different. This junk food design, it's targeted towards the woman who loves her fine jewelry, but she's not ashamed of her love for greasy, high-calorie food. Lastly, the sound necklace. Now, this one, it's integrated with wireless headphones. So it does a double duty, a dual function of making the wearer look fashionable and at the same time keeping this essential piece of technology within reach. So in the next coming times, we are basically going to find different types of designs. Yes, we will be getting designs from the trends that have been predicted, but also some changes because of the changing mindset of people post COVID. Stop share. Now, I have shown you one-of-a-kind pieces that have unique inspirations, and that could appeal to the modern woman, be it the baby boomers, be it the Generation X, could be the millennials, could be the Gen Z. Now we have, I'm going to welcome three illustrious designers who are present on this webinar today. These designers do not blindly follow trends, but they take inspiration from around them and they become trendsetters in their own right. Their designs and achievements will inspire many of us to create, innovate, and experiment in order to reach unparalleled heights of success. Each of them will give you a presentation. They will talk about their designs. They will talk about their inspirations and how that inspiration has been translated into their jewelry. Such jewelry that is bought, appreciated, worn, and cherished all across the globe. Harshad Ajumal, very dear friend, and believe me when I say that once you see his presentation, you'd probably want to go home and start making something new. Extremely creative, innovative, with this innate passion for jewelry, and that has been responsible for his brand H. Ajumal, going up to staggering heights. So over to you, Harshad.
Thank you, Hetal, for such kind words. And what Hetal did mention is we both started our career off as teenagers many, many, many years ago. And we've stayed in touch, and it's always great collaborating with her. It has been one of the hardest working people I've known in my life, and from such a young age, an inspiration truly. I'd like to thank Ashok Bhai, Hemant Bhai, and the team at MindSpeak for having us and for keeping the community going through these times. It's brilliant, really, what you guys have been doing, and I wish people have taken advantage of your talks and learned in these times from things like that. Ketal's asked me to speak a little bit about trends and mostly about inspiration and maybe something that we use on a day-to-day basis. I have been using trends for designing now for more than 25 years. And it's just been a mindset for us. We plot our own trends for creating, our own lines for the consumer. But I also consult for people here and brands abroad where I develop lines for them and product lines, and we manufacture for them on a wholesale basis. So I have been working with jewelers for now more than 20 years, and I do understand the mindset of a jeweler. When we say words like designers use trends, forecasting, sab dar jate hai. Everyone gets scared with those words. So I'm, with my dealing with them over the years, I would like to say that please don't fear these topics. We have to, obviously, when we hear international RAM pictures and things like that, we do get scared of stuff like that. But we have to localize. That's where the jeweler comes in. You can start with a small way. Jewelry itself is an emotion we are selling today. It's no longer a commodity. If they want a commodity, they'll go on the gold stock exchange and buy gold. So someone's coming to you because they want to adorn themselves with something that's pretty, that's nice, that's relevant for today's times. And again, doesn't mean we follow fashion blindly, international fashion or local fashion. But fashion is relevant. What are the people going to combine their clothes with? Or their jewelry with? Really, what are they going to wear? High neckline, low neckline. So our teams, we must be very sort of aware of what's going on around us, because the consumer is extremely aware of what's going on. With social media, television serials, Netflix, things like that, there's so much stuff going on. and the consumers watching and absorbing what is this person wearing in this situation, what are they wearing online, which celebrity has been spotted at the airport wearing what, things like that, which would be really irrelevant few years ago. But everything is so fast now, and the consumer is so aware of what's going on. So we as jewelers, as designers, must keep up with what's going on. We shouldn't fear that. First thing I would say is, in my interactions with jewelers over the year, when we start talking of design or getting more technical, they say, they start getting scared. And I'll give you a short example. One jeweler I was consulting with in the north of the country. And for many years, I used to go to their store and I used to see the same design of a Chand Bali lying in their window. And I asked him, Saab, aap kyun kar rahe hai? Why is the same earring going on? Why don't you, do something else? He's saying, bahut maine bech liya. We have sold a lot of these pieces. I said, that doesn't mean it's going to keep selling. You can use the same concept, modify it, take today's color trends in, for example, a lot of turquoise was incorporate some turquoise tones into the Chand Bali, change the form a little bit, go longer, shorter, and add some touch of difference and uniqueness. Today, and especially in these times, how are we going to stand out as a jeweler, as a jewelry store? आपके सामने वाले सेम चीज है, उनके सप्लायर सेम है, इस तरफ उस तरफ सब सेम चीज बिक रहे हैं, similar. So the consumer is just going and talking about price from one store to the other. I'm talking specifically with India in mind. How do we stand out? And here's where trends and design comes in, and thinking that design is important and innovating continuously. The fashion people have caught on and they are continuously innovating. We are born with fashion together, so we must keep up with fashion and trends. That doesn't mean we have to be like fast fashion. Unke char season hai, we keep changing from one season to the other season. That doesn't happen with jewelry. Luckily, we are still have some intrinsic value. And because we have intrinsic value, our pieces can last for generations and generations and be passed on. And obviously, the value is high of our pieces. So we keep trends in mind a little bit, and we adapt our trends to our local consumer and who we are selling to. तो सब ज्वेलर को ये मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, please keep in mind who your end consumer is and don't blindly follow trends or inspiration or what someone else is doing or what Bulgari is doing or what this thing is. Like another example, Bulgari is doing so much of, or was doing so much over the years, of serpent or snake, and a jeweler had come up with a whole collection of snake related jewelry, and it just didn't work over here because snake is treated differently, and Indians somehow don't like wearing creatures or animals so much on themselves. So we must localize. Here's where you come in and take the help of design professional or hire design people who can work with you, your team, your karigars to create unique pieces, which is a unique selling point. Now, that doesn't mean you change your whole stock blindly or anything like that. Start in a small way. Survey your customers. Pooch lijiye, like Hetal said earlier. See what is selling. Create a small capsule collection, jo hum log kehte hai. That's maybe a 10 to 15 piece collection. Sample it out with your clients. See what's working. Who are the adventurous clients? What are they saying about it? And then one can expand towards down those lines and things like that. Today, what people are talking a lot about is, and the consumer, like I said, is very aware, is sustainability. We must keep that in mind. Fast fashion is in fact reducing with time. People want pieces, yes, they must be trendy, which they can wear today, but they want pieces which can carry forward over years and years, maybe even give the next generation. And the next generation coming to them are so aware of what's going on, of trends. And jewelry is no longer treated. They don't buy jewelry like their mothers or fathers bought jewelry, or their grandmothers, like you all must be aware. They want something very different. What is the celebrity wearing? What is the trends? How can I wear this to work? कोई बड़ी झुमका या चांद वाली काम पर नहीं पहन सकते. Today most girls are working. So we keep in mind that's where demi-fine jewelry comes in, or casual pret jewelry comes in. And I'm going to start with a presentation on maybe taking you to how we got inspired with a light jewelry collection for something like that. I'm just going to get into my presentation, and just 1 second. Yeah. I hope you all can see that. And so what I'm going to start is we have, like, I have two brands. I have a Pret or casual jewelry line we started a few years ago, catering to the younger consumer. But we see, just call Agecraft on your screen, but we see a lot of older consumer also picking up stuff like that today. It's become more relevant. People don't want to wear the heavy jewelry in the day or the bade solitaires in the day. It's not deemed fashionable. So they want light, casual, more casual jewelry to wear, which is still real jewelry, but it has to be fun, light, and easy to wear, easy to change, and things like that. And obviously priced in a little bit more, shall I say, a little bit more, like Hetal said earlier, affordable. I think that's important when you come to casual jewelry. So I'm going to start with an inspiration and really how we start developing a collection. We either travel, architecture, art, different reasons can inspire you. You have to find your own inspiration or work with a team of designers that feel inspired by something and make that inspiration relevant to your consumer. हम लोग जो भी करते हैं, what is the bottom line? बिकना ही है. We have to aim at the consumer to buy something. So we have to keep the end consumer in mind. So I'm just going to start with the slideshow. Okay. So this is a line of jewelry that was inspired by coins. We did a light coin collection that we started with. So I'm showing you the Cambodia pictures of coins and the temples behind and the coins over there. Architecture, this is a building in Guangzhou that's been inspired by an ancient Chinese coin with a hole in the center, which was very inspirational for us. Sculpture, this artist has used copper coins and made sculptures out of that. Now, I don't want to scare you with this, so I'm going to move slowly. That this is just an inspiration. And what's the point of this inspiration? Home interiors, you use coins to make a wash basin. You use coins on the wall at the back in the other image. And a little bit of gold coming in. And gold is in fashion, that whole 70s, this thing. We see fashion on the left. We see fashion on the right. And we see a tribal picture in the middle with her wearing some silver coin jewelry. So all these imagery we start collecting first, and we put it together into something called a mood board. That's my mood board. And while we are designing, we keep the mood board in mind. It has to be definitive. You cannot just keep swaying from your collection here or here. It is a specific inspiration for this collection, which over here is for my coin collection. It's a Pret line, a demi-fine jewelry, casual jewelry. We have priced it from 10,000 to 1.5 lakh. 1,50,000 rupees is the maximum any of the pieces go in, and using diamonds and gold. So again, coming back to the mood board, from here we go on to a line of jewelry. I have been experimental. I have used some copper coins, like you can see the model wearing over here, with gold and diamonds. That doesn't mean you need to do the same. If you're sticking with only gold and diamonds, you can experiment with that as well. So this is some pieces in earrings that we have. The earring on the left is what the model was using. Old paisa, jo purani paise the in the 19th and 20th century in copper. We amalgamated that with gold and diamonds, and it was accepted very well. The earring in the middle has rose gold, which is in fashion a lot, combining with yellow and white gold. And of course, the earring is worn from the back and the front. So you could just wear the studs as a top and the back front earrings, what you call. The earring on the right is again using the similar one like the left, but we have used copper coins and we have soldered gold coins to that. And that's how we got that color contrast coming in. Again, continuing with that, these are extremely light pieces of jewelry. Our diamond weights are maybe 20 cents to half a carat to maximum 75 cents. So they're very specific price points. They look chunkier than they are, but they're very light in weight. The coins are less than 1/4 gram each, which we developed on our own. We see the earring on the right. We always show the whole coin. So we try to differentiate out over here by using the diamond line on top of the coin and giving it a break instead of just being in your face. Okay. Some bracelets again coming down the collection. Snap-on bracelets, stack bracelets, and a Again, the copper coin with the yellow gold combined in a stiff oval bracelet. Chain bracelets, like Hetal said, chains are very in. So we've got some hanging pieces of coin or charms, like we call them. And even the stiff bracelet on the right opens from the top and it's got a charm hanging from there. Again, to a modern style, we're still using coins. You can use guineas, Adha Guinea, Pura Guinea, things like that, into a double drop necklace, what we call. We've combined wood over here with pearls and copper with yellow gold and diamonds together. This is an extreme one. This is not necessarily what I would suggest, but this is what I would like to tell you, that this is what we call pieces which gather attention or momentum. This is a piece we had entered for one of the gem and jewelry competitions, and we won an award for this piece. Now we've used coins here, but our inspiration was twigs, like a bunch up forest mein jayenge, jungle mein jayenge. Jaise, you know how they collect wood, firewood, and burn it in the villages and things like that. That was our inspiration here, and we hung a whole bunch of tiny copper coins below it. So that gives you an idea on a Pret line how we got inspired and how we came up with a collection which was sellable. It's still selling and it's done well with us. The same way I would like you all to be inspired, create your own lines for your market in your price points and things like that. Know your consumer and move forward. The next line I'm going to show an inspiration is for my high jewelry line called H. Ajumal Fine Jewelry. H. Ajumal Fine Jewelry, of course, is a much more expensive price line. We sell a lot of this abroad, and it's a little bit more artistic. So it might not appeal to everybody over here, but it's again very inspirational. The line that I'm showing you was a collection called Mozambique. I traveled in East Africa, and Mozambique was an inspiration, and East Africa as an inspiration. Everything from the colors, I've done a mood board over here to show you all, if you can see. The travel, the monuments over there, the old monument, the new monument. It's a very young country that's coming up with new ideas and evolving, and it's becoming slowly an economic powerhouse in East Africa. But it has a lot of ancient traditions. It used to be in the way as a trading port between the East and the West. So a lot of Middle Eastern influences, a lot of Asian influences, and a lot of influences from Africa and the West. So very quickly, we've taken some handicrafts here. We've taken some art and paintings from there. The sea, water was an inspiration for this line, and things like that, to create your own mood board. We would like you to create your own mood board for whatever. This is just what's inspired me to start this collection on Mozambique. I'm moving ahead to show you pieces that we have done. And if you keep recalling the mood board, the colors will come back to you, the shape, the form, the structure will come back to you. Of course, this is a small mood board. Our mood board is much bigger than this, which we keep in our office and our boutique when we design. So moving on, I'm going to give you a few ideas. If you can see the emphasis on orange over here, bright, vibrant colors in the mood board, and ancient shapes with modern shapes together. That's what's sort of keeping us going. Some earrings from this collection with, we've carved out smoky quartz over here. There's a lot of color we have used in this line because Mozambique is like that. East Africa has a lot of color. You see the people walking there, they're wearing prints and colorful things on the time, all the time. So we have a earring with mint green garnet and moonstone. We also have tried to use a lot of stones which are actually coming from East Africa and Mozambique in this collection. You'll see that, you know, rubies, of course, come a lot from Mozambique, but tourmalines and aquamarines and garnets, we've used specified garnet, which comes from Mozambique as well. But where my concern is, I use only natural organic stones, and I would advise the same for other people. Use natural color, don't use artificial stones. Your consumers buying gold and diamonds, which are precious material. Please, colored stones are also precious material. Try and use those as well. So we have a pair of earrings in orange specified garnet with black diamonds and pear-shaped diamonds enhanced on top. The pictures are blown up. These are very wearable sized earrings. The price point we had planned was from 2 lakhs to 10 lakhs for this collection, just to give you an idea. Again, very vibrant earrings with purple amethyst and savorite garnet, a stone from East Africa, and baguettes. And let me if you can see, like Hetal said, the round space, the round shape is very relevant to these trends. And we have petersite, a stone from Namibia, used over here. It's got wonderful colors in the stone, and the stone itself was inspirational. And we have tried to pave colors like that on the top. A very forest sort of ring on the right with gray moonstone with black diamonds and white diamonds. So if you can keep in mind, we are keeping trends in mind. Black diamonds is a trend. Grays and color are a trend with yellow gold. So we are keeping that in mind, but my inspiration was very specifically Africa. They use a lot of wood over there. And so we've used a lot of wood in our pieces as well. You can see a jarau ring using 24 karat gold and flat diamonds on your right, and a ring using a palm leaf because it's on the coast over there with brushed yellow gold mounted on a wooden cocktail ring as well. A necklace which is from our resort line for Mozambique using kyanite strips and diamonds in the middle. It's very flexible, very tribal, and again inspirational from there. Another necklace in carved wood, and instead of a gold chain, we've used cream silk. Like I said, this is H.R. Jumal is a very experimental line. It doesn't mean that all these things could work for you. See your consumer in mind, but take a chance. Go a little out there, push the boundaries a little bit. So again, and we've used mother of pearl, which is actually a lot of it is still sourced from the coast of Mozambique. So carved wood, silk, diamonds, and wood over here. Shades of amethyst. You know, amethyst comes not only in purple, in shades of green as well. We've combined that with a clasp over here. And another vibrant long necklaces are a lot in fashion right now, which you could wear on a shirt, on a lenga, or on anything. We've got peridot and amethyst over here. Another vibrant necklace with lime green and blue tanzanite, and the clasps are in wood. And if you see the print in the middle, the carving is actually from a textile print that we found from East Africa. And we've used that over here and to a wearable necklace, which an Indian consumer can wear very easily as well. Again, the left is very modern. It's a cuff bracelet with leather and gold. The reason I'm pulling it up, I know it's very extreme over here, but in these times with the gold prices so high, there's no harm in experimenting with other materials with gold. Your costs will come down. Your jewelry could get more affordable. And you'll be surprised, some of the consumers, if you can guarantee them what amount of gold you have used in, will try things like that. Both these pieces sold with us. It's a very thin gold cuff with a wooden piece on top with rubies and emerald cabochons. That pretty much gives us an idea on two lines, one from the casual jewelry line and one from my high jewelry line inspired by Mozambique. I'm going to talk very little on trends right now because Hetal has really covered most of it. The trends that I'm using are pretty much what she has expanded on. I'm just trying to show you our perception of that, or pieces that we have made in those trends. One very important trend is stacks, where today the consumer, especially in casual jewelry, is collecting 2-3 bracelets together or 2-3 rings. And sometimes they don't just, they buy one ring. And if it's a working girl, she might have a budget of 40, 50,000. She comes back to you in 2-3 months or 6 months and buys another ring. Her husband or her partner or her parent might want to gift her something. She says, give me the third ring. So she builds up a stack. We have Soha Ali Khan wearing one of our H-craft pieces over here. So it stacks again here. Deepika Padukone wearing 2 rings and 3 color gold over here. Stack it up, put 2 together, but you could also do this in bracelets. Here we can see some of our rings in color, in enamel, in different forms and motifs, which you stack up together. So stack is a very important trend. And we've got some stackable bracelets. Here the model's wearing 2 globes, like Hetal said, the globe, the circle, very important for today's trends. But we've used it with rose gold and with yellow gold and yellow diamonds and white diamonds together over here. chains and stackable bracelets. Again, doesn't have to be rings. Light. So the advantage of using chain next to a kada or a thick band is the gold weight comes down a lot. And the consumer sees stars and celebrities and trends out there. They want something like that as well. Another trend Hetal elaborated on was layered necklaces. So we've got a celebrity, Rakul Preet over here wearing one of our stacked necklaces from Hcraft. Again, gold weight coming down. All the chains are separatable. Sometimes for work, they want to wear one, they wear two, they buy one, two, three. An important trend today, like personalization, Hetal mentioned. So you've got an A and B. We've done a lot of these double stack necklaces with mothers writing their children's names over there. And they use that even in bracelets, even in necklaces like that. Again, coming down to stacks. Moving on to, Hetal said pearls are very important. We haven't spoken on the trends, but by coincidence, I've done the same thing. A line we did for, again, Hcraft was using Baroque pearls. And I'm just going to quickly go through that. Deepika Padukone wearing nude color pearls in one of the pieces of ours that she wore. Very quickly showing you all of them have a drop pearl, but the form is very different. The line, the colors could be different. So we don't have to be limiting, or the pieces don't have to look the same. You can still have a variety of pieces over there. So we've got black onyx, gray pearls, little flowers, florets on a cream color pearl as well. I think that's pretty much about it. Before I hand it to Hetal, I'd just like to tell you guys that these are tough times out over there, and we can understand most of your jewelers. आप लोग इतना stock में invest करते हैं, and it's stressful over here right now. But if we have to try something new, and if we have to experiment, then why not now? When things are difficult, this is the time when the business is not the same like before. This is the time to try something new, to experiment. Again, use professionals, use a good team, and you all have so much experience. Just push the boundary, like I said, a little bit, be a little bit more experimental, and get on with it. It's a new road we have to travel on, and I hope we can all get through these times together and move on to better times in the future. Thank you. Hetal, back to you.
Thanks, Harsha. That was an amazing presentation. I had expected the same. And I think it's really nice that you've covered, all types of jewelry. It was interesting that you have used other unusual materials like wood. Most of us would hesitate before doing this, but you have not only been using it for a while, but people are buying it. So it's translating into sales,
Absolutely.
which is what is very important. So it was very interesting. Also the use of semi-precious stones, mother of pearl, very interesting collection. And like I said, I think it'll do well because it's very affordable. So it's with times right now. And if it was me, I would go and pick up a piece and wear it for work. So yeah, very interesting. Thank you so much. Appreciate this. Now moving on to Manisha. She has been into jewelry for, I think, more than 25 years now. In fact, she was initially a student with us, then she moved on to SNDT, and now, of course, she and her partner are running this particular company. It's a very well-known brand. It's really heartening to see her to reach to get so much recognition and doing so well for herself. She's going to be showing a PowerPoint presentation. Again, talking about her designs. I think she's going to focus on fewer designs, but explain the inspiration that they work with and what has been her journey. So I'm going to share the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Over to you, Manisha.
Yeah. Thank you for the introduction, Hetal, and good afternoon, everybody. These are exceptional times, and trust you all are safe and keeping yourselves occupied. I would like to thank Ashok Uncle and Hetal for inviting me to be a part of this webinar. I'm here to talk about what inspires me to design. Being a student all things design, I seek inspiration everywhere. The journey of a jewel begins by deciphering it in 3 different parts, which have helped me at work. Can we start the slideshow? Hetal?
Yeah.
Can we start the slideshow?
Yeah, we are already on. I'm sharing the screen, Manisha.
But Hetal, we can't see. We are seeing the files, but we are not able to see the presentation.
Image. One moment.
Okay, let me see if I can do it.
Yeah.
So should I just go on share screen?
1 second. 1 second. I am doing it. I have made you the co-host. You can start sharing your screen.
Okay. Can you see?
No, we are unable to see as of now. Yeah, now we have started seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you make it? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So I would first, like I said, I would like to break it in the journey of the jewel in 3 different parts. That is inspiration, ideation, and creation. Each is a link with the other. It is a complete process from beginning to end. A story that is expressed with a myriad of thoughts, seasoned with ideas, blended with passion, and crafted with love. With each piece having its own soul, it is the cohesiveness of these 3 that bring alive an imagination. I would here like to add an inspiring quote from Vincent van Gogh. Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. I would now like to put a little bit of light on inspiration. The great poet Rumi once said, "What you seek is seeking you." Inspiration is a very important catalyst and is the soul of the journey of the jewel. It is the integral part of the creative mind, and creativity is an ever-evolving process. Inspiration, I believe, is everywhere. It does not reside in one object, place, or person. Inspiration can come from many sources like art, architecture, food, nature, or travel. It is how our mind perceives what we see and what we take from it. For me, travel has been my biggest inspiration. It has been a teacher to ardently nurture my passion of design. When you step out of your comfort zone, you realize all the beautiful things that life has to offer you. I truly believe you're allowed to break the rules in order to make new ones. The difference between living and existing is how much excitement you find in the beauty around you. Whenever we are traveling, I like to carry my sketchbook with me so that I do not miss interpreting anything that catches my eye. I believe it is where the heart follows the soul, beginning the journey of stories untold. A little bit on ideation is what I would like to talk. There's a strong synergy between inspiration and ideation, as if you just know that it is the time to begin something new and trust the magic of beginnings. This is a defining process, the time when you implement what has inspired you. The process which challenges you as you create a design to scale on paper, keeping in mind the economics of the piece. It is, in my opinion, the most important aspect of design, as eventually one must make, so one must sell. This is where I transcribe my thoughts on paper with a series of sketches till I feel I have done justice to the inspiration, until I'm finally confident that I can visualize the jewel. And a little about creation, which is the last leg. The realization of a vision that was conceptualized in the mind culminates in the stage of creation, where ideas and vision, techniques and execution coexist. This is a stage in the journey of the jewel which I'm always excited about, because your idea is finally taking form. The manufacturing process is of utmost importance, right from sourcing the purest and most exceptional diamonds and gemstones to handcrafting each piece of jewel with an uncompromised quest for perfection. When I hold the jewel in my hand, the emotion it brings upon me is very important. Needless to say, every stage of manufacturing is very important in our workshop. There have been days when we've not been satisfied with the end result of the jewel. This is the moment we sit as a team, honestly discuss the flaws, and act upon the ways to rectify the same. Mistakes will happen, but one must have the courage to believe in the piece that one has dreamt about. The ethos of our jewels is the movement. We ensure that when every piece is handcrafted, it must be having minimal weight, as once the diamonds and gemstones are set, they must always be the hero. So this is something that inspired me from the Museum of Islamic Art in Doha. And this is how I interpreted this into a pair of earrings, and from there into the final piece here. Jewels over the years have been inspired from many cultures, circuit of museums and art galleries. One such place I would like to talk about is Jaipur, a place that takes me back to my childhood. I remember spending winters at our family home in Jaipur. The city is so architecturally rich that I could only take back experiences with every visit. One such architectural wonder was the city palace of Jaipur that has inspired these jewels. This completely blew me with its character, culture, and grandeur. Simple beauty that always has me calling for more. The layer in each petal of the lotus and the interplay within the arches caught my attention, which culminated into an idea ready for a story to be told. That was the birth of our vision on interplay. I'll be sharing 5 images from our collection Interplay. So the first picture I would like to share is that of a ear stud. This is a play of earrings using Colombian emeralds and rosettes structurally set so that the eye is drawn from one level to the next and the next. These earrings resemble a bloom, bringing alive the translucence the emeralds have to offer. The second picture I would like to share is that of a linear earring. An interplay of Colombian emeralds and rosettes coming together as the light intrigues and creates fluidity. The assembly of the earring was very challenging since we had to ensure the earring had to be light metal, yet the strength maintained, which we were very happy to overcome after a few attempts. The third picture is of a ring, where rosettes are centered around a halo of life with diamond tavis, adding a regal touch to the ring. When the ring is worn, the fluidity of the tavis seems like a melody of dance movements. And this is the fourth picture, pair of ear studs. It's an artistic periphery of baguettes set to form a Mughal pattern. For us, the paisley has always been the most inspiring of all shapes, as it symbolizes the rich heritage of India. Therefore, these studs are Indian modern. The fifth picture is a pair of ear clips. This is a play of baguettes communicating with each other to create a contemporary mood. Needless to say, the national bird of India, the peacock, was the inspiration behind these beautiful ear clips. So, with this, I conclude my presentation. I would just like to add, these are extreme times, and these times will teach us a lot. But then what is life without a challenge and a soul without gratitude? Thank you.
Thank you, Manisha. I also would like to mention here that one of the jewels was featured in the Forbes America from this brand. And Manisha, it's not just an honor for you, your brand and your company, but for all of us. We're super proud that an Indian brand has made it on the international level. So, kudos to you and your company, the employees, and the entire brand. Now, I'd like to move on to Neha. Neha again, I've known her since almost 25 years. She was also a student with us before she started SNDT and then went on to create her own brand. Uh, it's really, really heartening to see her climb the ladder of success from a very young girl to now a mother of a 4-year-old. She's balancing work, motherhood, and passion for jewelry. And welcome on this webinar, Neha. I would like you to share your thoughts, your inspirations, what drives you to design your pieces and create such stunning pieces of jewelry.
Hi Hetal, thank you so much for for introducing me. And it's a complete honor for me. I was just going to say that not many of you out there might know that I have studied under you before I went to SNDT. So it's a complete honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you and your families are doing well. And I would really, I'd like to thank Mr. Ashok Meenawala and the entire team of MindSpeak to invite me here. So I think it's a great initiative. It's a great initiative taken by MindSpeak to bring the jewelry fraternity together through the webinars, where we can all learn together and share insights of the new normal. आज मैं आपको मेरी जो मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन बनाई है उसके पीछे जो डिज़ाइन इंस्पिरेशन है उसके बारे में बताना चाहूँगी. उसका जो थॉट प्रोसेस है, उसके पीछे जो इमोशंस जाते हैं, क्या पर्पस होता है, वो बताना चाहूँगी. So I've put together a few slides and I'll just start that. So talking about inspiration, I really like this quote. It really drives me to create more and work better. Against all odds, against all instincts, we evolve as change is the only constant. Therefore, my designs are a beautiful amalgamation of classic forms and trending techniques. My inspiration. My inspiration comes from my observation, which could be any theme or concept, human emotions, the current fashion, nature, or any form of art. For that matter, even my 4-year-old daughter inspires me. Her inquisitive mind and her creativity, her creative mind takes me to a whole new world of imagination with absolutely no boundaries. My jewelry style is not fixed, it evolves. I then uniquely entwine the creative process with new manufacturing techniques. I also make sure that along with paying attention to the final details of the manufacturing process, my jewelry is sustainable and all materials that we use in our jewelry are ethically sourced. So I've put together a few design stories. Frankly, as a creator, I like everything because every collection has a story. But on this platform, I'm presenting to you a few chosen ones. The first one being be yourself. ये जो स्लाइड पहली स्लाइड है, इसके बारे में जो मैं बताऊंगी आपको, ये मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है. ये इसलिए करीब है क्योंकि इसके पीछे जो इमोशंस गए हैं, जो मैसेज एक आता है, वो मेरे दिल के बहुत करीब है. As we all know, aerodynamically, the bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but it doesn't know it, so it goes on flying anyway. When we limit ourselves with notions in our minds, we stop our growth. So this collection was created to express the barriers that we create for ourselves. It reminds us that the bumblebee reminds us that in a world where we can be anything, we should be ourselves. Break the boundaries, break the stigma, and allow yourself to fly. As you see this beautiful cuff, it's a nice broad cuff we've made in rose gold, and it makes a statement. It's a completely statement making piece with bees on it, and we've used sliced diamonds to add to it. So here we have used minimal gold needed to make the piece. At the same time, we made it extremely eye-catching. We also did a few light versions in this, which are used, which can be worn for regular wear. This another ring being absolutely beautiful, we've used the honeycomb into it and given it also a link effect. So as you can see, this is actually a piece from my personal collection. We've added links in it and, following the trend, maintain that. So it's plain gold, plain rose gold, and it's absolutely beautiful. Moving on to my next slide. This one, Into the Woods. Into the Woods was one of the top 5 nominated pieces for Best Jewelry Designer of the Year by Retail Jeweler Awards in 2015. This will always remain very special to me. The indescribable innocence of nature, which is now lost, an attempt to reconnect with it, was how the spectacular design was conceptualized. I so love nature, and before the lockdown, I would find just any excuse to run to the hills. These beautiful detachable ear cuffs remind us of how we can detach ourselves from the chaotic world we live in. Into the Woods is a whimsical interpretation, boosting the imagination of the wild, exotic, and rare nature. Intriguing, unconventional, yet classy. So if you see here, to give it a very rustic forest look, I have used brown pole keys and sliced yellow diamonds, making it very, very pretty. And they can be worn in 2 separate ways. The top portion is a ear cuff, and you can add these, hanging piece down. So moving on to the last and the most fun collection that I recently did. It's called Happy Charms. As Hetal mentioned, that this is the current trend. We've been following all fashion trends, and this is something I had a lot of fun doing. These charms can be worn on watches, bracelets, or bangles, even onto chains. A charm is a magical spell or an object that brings luck. It's also a quality of being attractive and pleasing. Happy Charms is a collection which not only brings luck, but also protects you from negativity. Doing this collection made me realize the need for personalization and emotional connect in jewelry. Also, it was not only new, but very affordable, which made this a huge success. We started at a range of just 12,000 rupees, going up to 40,000 rupees. The feedback from every single customer was a very happy one. We did many styles in it, which included initials, names, twinkling stars, crescent moon, medallions, affirmations, karmic signs, religious beliefs, spirituality, evil eyes, and even happy florals. Since all of this is the need of the hour, we all need it. We all need beliefs. We all need spirituality. We all need something to keep us together and keep us sane. So this was loved by all age groups, starting from 16 years of age to about 60 years of age. I'm still doing this collection very well, and maybe would like to add some birthstones also in the new pieces that we make. I have one of the pieces to show you again from my personal collection. This charm is reversible. So on one side, you see emeralds with black rhodium little key. And when you reverse it, there are milky diamonds in it, yellow milky diamonds. So it also looks very, very pretty. So that's it from my presentation from me. With this, I would like to conclude that life offers you a second chance, always offers you a second chance. It's called tomorrow. The current situation on hand has changed our perspective. Everyone, including me, will have to unlearn and relearn everything we know. I would like to embrace the new normal and rewrite my story. Thank you so much. Over to you, Hetal.
Thank you, Neha. That was a very positive note that you ended on. All of us need that positivity in these times. And we really loved your collection. It is, you've kept, abreast of the current trends. At the same time, it's your own individual take on these trends. So we really enjoyed that and hope you come up with many more such collections for us.
Thank you so much.
Avinash ji.
Yeah, Hetal.
Are there any specific questions or?
there is one specific question which was asked by Mr. Parag. When we are talking about these designer pieces, how to price them? Because metal content, design element, the material cost, everything. Because in India, most of the pieces, people need breakups. So that's a very, very big problem when we talk about how to price it in India. Anybody can answer this question.
Actually, if you remember this in the last webinar, we had discussed that we need to move away from this mindset of just break up and sell. And I think, Harshad, you are doing it really well. You are, most of your pieces, you told me people don't really ask you for detailed breakups. They treat it as a piece of art. And I think that's the way we want jewelry to be sold. At the same time, we want transparency. We want them to know how much of gold, how much of diamonds, no issues with that. But selling needs to be done differently. We have actually spoiled the customer. We are selling jewelry as a commodity. And I think that needs to change. We have to sell it as a luxury. I think in the last webinar, I did mention that when people are trying to sell a BMW car, they are not focusing on the, the intricacies of the engineering or the mileage that is given. Basically, they are trying to sell a luxury product. They don't sell SUVs. They say we don't sell SUVs or hybrids or luxury sedans. We are selling the ultimate driving machine. So I think we need to focus on jewelry also in the same manner, treating it as a luxury. Having said that, yes, transparency in the breakup is always good. But if you have a piece that, like if all these designers, they're working on the inspiration, they are going that extra mile to work on the finishing, to make the piece different, then they should be able to charge that premium on their piece. I don't think there is anything wrong with that. And the customer today, if he's aware, he's willing to pay that extra amount. What do you feel, Harshad?
Yeah. So I really feel it's us, the jeweler, who's at fault over here. And I'm blaming all of us. It's not the consumer at all. It's what you give. I know this has been said many times at various seminars over the years, and I've listened to it, and I learned for this more than 20 years ago. When Tarun Talyani sells an outfit, he doesn't say his embroidery cost, his labor cost, and his outfits at the weddings are 5 lakhs upwards. So why do we have to give a breakup on a 10,000 piece or a 20,000 piece? Yes, you must give the intrinsic value, the value of the amount of gold used, the amount of diamond used, the quality. There's no harm in sharing information with the client, but not breaking it up as a commodity. Me personally, we stopped this when I was a partner with Farah 15 years ago. We were partners for 8 years, and we had made a decision at that time to stop giving a breakup to a client. We obviously had to climb some hurdles, and it took a little bit of while, but we eventually stopped. And I know I can proudly say that since the last 15 years, I don't sell with a breakup at all. And my clients are used to it. They don't even ask. Very rarely at a new trunk show, someone might ask us, what is the breakup of this? And I just tell them the same thing. I'm giving you, if you can off, this is the value of your goods. You want to calculate, you think it's worth it, you buy it. Obviously, we have to keep some norms into place. We can't overprice ourselves out of the market just by saying designer or anything like that. But we definitely, not only designers, the jewelers themselves deserve a certain price. And it's up to them to calculate the price of their pieces. In the US and things like that, I mean, if we're talking figures over here, cost plus 3 or into 3 times over is the norm over there. We are nowhere near that. Yeah, we are nowhere near that category at all. And it's like I said, I'm coming back to it. It's the jewelers who are at fault. Until all of us together stop giving that breakup out over there of full detailed rates and breakups, your consumer will then stop asking. So, and all of us have to do this together. I have done it. I hope you guys can do the same as well.
I totally agree with Harshad. Just to put my point on this, I had an experience with a US client in Hong Kong show. He came to me and placed the list of the items he needed. He said, this is the price range divided by 7 and show me the products. So that divided by 7, that's if it's $700, he wanted the goods at $100 and that $700 was his selling price. And he was transparent with me. He wanted divided by 7 and show it to me. So that is the way the people work. So definitely I agree with you, but we cannot change the mindset over a night in India.
Great.
We have created and we have to definitely try and change slowly, and everybody is working on it. So one more point, as there is a lot of problem in India because of the urban, semi-urban and rural population who buys jewelry. And that is where the breakups are required. And that is where the designers, whoever wants to sell designer jewelry or who wants to manufacture designer jewelry, are facing trouble throughout the nation. So can you enlighten the listeners about it a little bit?
Yeah.
Would you like
Anybody can take the question.
So I would like to add something here, and I quite agree with what everyone has been saying. The obsession of making every customer a jeweler has to end. It's like when we are going and buying a branded bag, we do not ask anybody what is the buyback or what is a breakup. Similarly, when we are creating jewelry, we are creating a piece of art. It's our vision. You cannot break it up into something like how much gold, how much diamonds, what is the value of the stone, what is the labor. It is not the right way to sell a piece of jewelry. So I would quite voice the same opinion as what everyone is saying.
What about you, Neha?
I think when you're selling gold, when you're just selling plain gold or plain diamonds, you ask the rate, you ask the price. It's fair. But when there's so much of effort that's gone into designing a piece, and not only designing, going back and forth with the manufacturing process. There is so much that we face. There's so many hours of labor. And then sometimes you don't like something, you break it down and you make it again. So it's absolutely unfair for a customer to ask, isme gold kitna gaya, aapka diamond kitna gaya, stone kitna gaya, uska resale kya hai. I think it's very unfair. But then the practice has to be followed all across. It cannot be done that half the industry follows it and half the industry doesn't. So I think as a jewelry community, we need to come together and do it all across. That's when it might start working.
But somebody has to take the initiative. And Harshad, I'm so glad that you have stood your ground and against all the hurdles, irrespective of losing maybe a customer or two. It takes a lot of gumption.
Sorry to interrupt, but in my threat line, we have already started to sell on MRP, and slowly and gradually we plan to do it for the entire collection.
And how is the response been there?
Pretty good. Nobody bothers to ask. Under a lakh, nobody's bothering to ask. And even if they do, we tell them, these are the details, and if you can try and work it out, please do. But this is a price from our end.
I think, Hetal, the industry, the bigger players have to start doing this. I'm naming a Tanishq or a Reliance or something like that. If they start doing it, it'll make a lot of difference to the smaller jeweler, because if there's a smaller jeweler next door to a Tanishq, and if Tanishq is giving breakup, then that smaller jeweler will feel compelled to give a breakup as well. So I really feel we as designers might be able to get away with it, but there is pressure on the smaller jewelers, definitely. I feel if the industry takes a stand as a whole,
I think the masses
to stop the breakup thing, and starts with the bigger players, you see it will filter down across the board to everybody.
I have one more question, because all designers are sitting over here. There's a lot of buzz which is always there. We all say inspiration and everything. Now, people call it a copy. Then what is the thin line between a copy and inspired by?
I think inspiration is there in everything. So it's like if I could be inspired from architecture, I could be inspired from paintings, I could be inspired from tiles. So inspiration can come from anywhere. It could be another jewelry piece which inspires me. But so long as I do not, like you said, there's a very fine line, agreed. So long as I am not taking it as it is, I am giving it my own interpretation. I am, taking the inspiration and interpreting it in my way, then it becomes my design. There are a lot of people who take catalogs, who just tweak it a little bit here and there, and they call it their collection. Then that could be avoided. That doesn't lead to original design. And there is such an abundance of sources around us. Each of us have a different mindset. So I could look at something in one way. These designers would look at it differently. So each one's take is different. The same inspiration could inspire different people, different designers in different ways. So there is no need to copy.
I think all the
Well, can I get a word in? Sorry.
Sure, Hemant bhai, please.
Sorry, no, Neha was saying something. Let her finish.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying that we all presented three different presentations, and all of them were so different from each other. So even if there were certain materials used, all used so differently. Like for Harshad, his prec line was, the concept was kind of, okay, on the stacks and charms and things, but it was so different from mine. So I think using our own aesthetics and our own interpretations, like Hetal said, we can all, make it very different, and there is absolutely no need to copy.
Yeah, Hemant bhai.
Yeah. Okay, there are a couple of points I'd like to make, and I'd like your reaction on this. The first is that your last question about inspiration. I believe inspiration is everywhere, but how well and how creatively you use the inspiration is what is going to, at the end of the day, make a big difference. Unfortunately, in my case, I have a weird choice maybe, but most of the time, although the inspiration is amazing, there is not enough new in the sense of innovation in the jewelry that comes out of the innovation, of the inspiration. The second important point I would like to make here is that let Tanishq give their breakup. All of you here, the three of y'all and Hetal, you yourself, you are not just designers, you are creators, you are artists. An artist cannot compare himself with somebody next door who is selling a commodity, no matter how big that next door entity is. Okay, so what you are doing, Harshad, what you are doing about not giving a breakup, or Neha, what you just talked about, is the right way to go. Don't wait for the whole industry to follow you. You create your niches. You are creating product that is amazing. You create your niches and keep going the way you're going. At the end of the day, we need to sell a product and not an investment of gold and diamonds. Thank you.
So be creative not only in the designs, but also in the way you sell your jewelry.
Hetal, I just want to add to Hemant bhai's point very quickly. The reason I said Tanishq at this point was because in these tough times, margin is key for people to stay afloat, especially smaller jewelers. The margin is key, and if they don't get a margin, how do they stay afloat? I myself have stopped doing this since 15, 18 years ago. I don't give a breakup. That's the way I am. I can get away with it. But there are others who might not be able to. That's the reason if the industry takes a stand and the larger players start, it'll help the margin of the smaller jewelers and their survival, to go forward.
I also feel that, people from customers from a small town aspire to buy jewelry, like designer jewelry, not necessarily from jewelry stores like Tanishq. But if they're regular buyers from Tanishq, automatically the mindset is, if they are giving, why aren't you? So, it is very difficult to explain the process that goes into it. And that is also another reason why I think they should stop.
Nitin bhai wants to ask a question. Nitin bhai.
जैसा कि आप अविनाश जी हरदम बोलते हैं कि थाउजेंड स्माइल ज्वेलरी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द सिंगल स्टेप. हम लोगों ने पिछले 5 साल में 7 ग्राम के नीचे की जो ज्वेलरी, पर्टिकुलरली जो माइक्रो सेटिंग है 00-2 का, वेदर इट इज अ क्यूबिक जर्कोनिया और इज अ डायमंड, हमने उसके अंदर एमआरपी स्टार्ट कर दिया है एंड वी आर नॉट फेसिंग एनी प्रॉब्लम. 99% सेल इज गोइंग स्मूथली. So let's start from the small things, and that we can increase our scale of the MRP jewelry. हम लोग 7 साल से बेच रहे हैं.
So it's a start. I think all of us, if we get together and at least stop giving the prices and the breakups for the lower budgets, it is a start. And Nitin, like Nitin said, people are not asking for those breakups in the lower budgets, in the smaller budgets. So maybe we hope that in the future, jewelry will be sold as a piece of art, as luxury, and people will stop asking for very detailed breakups and bargain on, the making charges. Like we discussed before, that if it's a Manish Malhotra outfit or a Tarun Tahliani, nobody's asking them ki jardozi kitne ki hui, stitching charge kya hua, material ka kitna cost hua. It's a piece by itself, and there is a price, and if you want it, you pay the price. I think so. Eventually, we hope that the jewelry industry also follows suit, and we have more people like Harshad who are going to, take charge and kind of lead us all in this particular, field.
Over to you, Ashok bhai.
अशोक भाई, हमको किसी तनिष्क के लिए रुकने की जरूरत नहीं है. अपने सिटी में हम सब खुद ही ट्रेंड सेटर है. हम लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया, लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं उसको. We are all the trend setter. We should not wait for anybody to start that trend.
Agreed.
मैं जयपुर में था, याद है पान खाने को गए थे, और वो पान वाले को बोला कि बढ़िया एकदम बढ़िया वाला पान बना के दो. तो उसने पान बना के दे दिया और उससे 100 रुपया लिया पान का. तो मैंने दे तो दिया उसको, उसको पूछा सर ये इसका 100 रुपया कैसे लिया आपने. तो उसने बोला हमारा रेट जो है वो डालते हैं, स्पेशल डाल के दिया. कुछ नहीं बताया और मेरे पास उसका
आवाज नहीं आ रहा.
Ashok bhai, your voice is breaking.
अविनाश जी, किसी ने पूछा है कि प्राइस 10% बढ़ जाते हैं तो एमआरपी ज्वेलरी पे प्राइस चेंज करते हैं क्या? यस, वो एक्सरसाइज करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि जब भी जाता है उसके अंदर सॉफ्टवेयर में अलार्म लगाया हुआ है, तो वो बराबर इंडिकेट कर देता. तो वी नीड टू इंक्रीज द प्राइस दैट टाइम.
Sir,
there is a question here which somebody has asked, that is it always necessary to follow trends? And can we not create without looking into any trends, and why do we need to block the creative? So I just like to clarify that trends are basically to give you an idea of what would be the consumer's preference in the future. You study the trends, but what you make after understanding the trends is your own perception. So you can gain inspiration from anywhere, and you can adapt it to the changing preferences of the modern consumer. But no, I mean, we are not bound by trends. If that was a question, I think that do we have to follow trends? I don't think so. What do you feel, Manisha?
I don't think it is necessary to follow trends. I think you create your own trends over time. From what has been working with your clientele, like you said, how you perceive your inspiration, it is that creates the trend. Today, a client comes to me because they like the way I design, or I put across the whole story of the jewel. And that is, they are buying my vision, and they are buying what I perceive in the piece of jewelry, and that they can relate to it. So I think it's just very important that you follow your heart when it comes to creating jewelry.
So what we are realizing here is that there are different takes on this. There are some designers who feel that what comes to them naturally from within them, they create that because it's their vision. And there are some, like I've seen some of the jewelry that Harsha had shown us, or what Neha showed us, where they are studying what the customer wants, what is in trend, but they are giving their own interpretation of the same. Is that correct, Harsha?
Yeah, it's important not to be blinded by trends, like I said, but it's also important not to to follow it to a certain extent. For example, it's your consumer, and today, for example, if say high collars are in fashion, okay, in clothing, we can't do a line of chokers. It's just not going to work. So we have to be aware of what's going around us and which price points. That's what I said. You must survey your clients in the beginning. Who is your end consumer? What are they interested in? And what price points are extremely important. Like we are much more trend savvy or trend based in our Pret collection, our casual jewelry line under a lakh. But in my high jewelry line, I consider it like art. So when an artist gets inspiration from anywhere, I don't keep trends that much in mind over there besides my own, like I create my own trends for that. But I still keep in mind if stud earrings are in fashion, I would do some stud earrings in the high jewelry line as well. So we must be aware of what's going on and be not follow trends directly. See your market, see your product, your price brand, and take it from there and see how trends can be absorbed from there.
So eventually
Ashok
your
bhai.
target group.
Ashok bhai.
I'm sorry, my just off totally, and I'm back again. I think the whole thing is about the way this industry has been structured and it started. So I think one more important thing is that till a jeweler actually doesn't start designing his own jewelry, manufacturing his own jewelry, and selling his own jewelry, if he doesn't put in these three elements together, his level of inputs inside beyond retailing are practically nothing. If he's buying ready-made jewelry and selling it over, he has nothing to talk about. There is no story for him. What is he going to talk about? When you applied your mind towards a concept, a design, a flow of a collection, you have created it yourself, you have put in all the efforts. You have a lot to talk about. You have put in your efforts and there was some thought process behind. So that is the big difference between majority of the jewelers. And on the price point and on many elements that we spoke about today, I think when you put in efforts, you really realize that you need the money also at that point of time. And as far as originality of design is concerned, I have only one thing to say: except God, there is no original person who knows anything. Because we derive inspiration from people, from nature, from things that we see every day. Leonardo da Vinci, even when creating airplanes over there, saw the insects and he got inspiration from them. He got inspiration from somewhere or the other. So except God, there is no. But yes, if you do a Xerox copy, if you start copying people straight flats, then there is no inspiration involved in that. Well, I think we had a wonderful session today. We may not have had 500-700 people join in today, but every single person who joined in enjoyed it utmost. I'm extremely thankful to Rajumal, to Neha, to Manisha. I know her for so many years now, and Hetal, also I know her for so many years. Thank you so much. Neha, I was extremely impressed by the way you spoke and the kind of things you said. And I thank all the listeners and the viewers. We have a wonderful another session coming up on the 30th of May, where we are going to talk of the magic and allure of the Golconda diamonds from India to the world. And I think we'll have two important people, Usha Balakrishnan and Chirag Soni, who are going to do a one-on-one discussion on this. So guys, on Saturday, 30th of May at 2 p.m. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Hetal.
everybody,
Thank
all
you.
my participants. Thank you so much on such a short notice. We had one day before we
Absolutely.
decided to have the seminar, and you all were so, I know everybody is busy. They have their own schedules. Even in these times, people are doing webinars, people are doing online work, but it was really sweet of you to find the time, share your thoughts. This way, even if 10% of the people who attended get inspired, if they learn the importance of taking inspiration and doing something creative, it would be worth the effort. Thank you so much, Ashok Bhai, and the entire team once again.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you.